You're listening to the Monday Night Community Show with Daniel on BRFM.
This is the Daniel Monday Night Community Show on demand through YouTube. Thank you very much for choosing to listen to us through this method. If you'd like to keep up to date with when I add new interviews, then subscribe to this channel. We're now going to be speaking to Russell. He's an environmental officer. Firstly, thank you very much for joining us, Russell.
Good evening, Daniel. Yes, I've been with Swale Borough Council now for over 6 years as an environment officer. In my role, I deal with a wide range of environmental issues, ranging from noise, which could include intruder alarms, dog barking, amplified music, and our department in general deals with a great umbrella of environmental issues, from fly tipping and waste offences, bonfires, odours. However, this evening I'm here primary to talk about nuisance noise from parties, barbecues, things like that.
And I understand that was the thing we were going to cover firstly, all about noise.
Yes. The Environmental Protection UK annually run a Noise Action Week in which they promote noise issues alongside the local authorities. This week is Noise Action Week. We're all affected by noise in some way, and the Environment Protection UK website reports that since 2001 there's been a 17% increase in people affected by nuisance noise, which is quite a significant rise in the last 14 years. So it is an issue that is on the rise. During the summertime, our department receives a great deal of complaints regarding noise from parties and barbecues, and there are a few steps that residents can take in the planning stages of any party.
I was imagining that it probably must be a fairly busy time of year for your department.
Yes, Daniel. During the summertime, our department receives a great deal of complaints regarding noise from parties and barbecues, and just general noise complaints. When planning a party, there are a few steps that residents can take before the actual event to ensure that complaints are down to a minimum and that they've done everything they can. Firstly, they could speak to a neighbour and speak to all the surrounding neighbours and notify them of the party. Be open and honest about what time you intend to play your music to and how many numbers you're expecting at the party. You could also consider inviting your close neighbours if you think there's going to be it's going to be quite loud. Should that be an option to you? The next issue that must be considered is, where are you situating your sound system within your property? If your stereo is positioned in the front living room and your windows and doors are closed, the likelihood is you're only going to be impacting on the two closest neighbours. However, we've found that it's quite a common thing for residents to set up stereo systems in their rear garden, and when doing so, it has to be taken into account that outside in the open air, noise does travel a great distance in built-up areas, and you could be potentially affecting hundreds of people, and not just your direct neighbours that you have door knocked and invited. Also, late at night, stereo systems outside, music travelling a long distance, there's very little ambient noise around to mask that music, so the impact is greater on residents that are trying to get to sleep. So these are things that need to be considered before you actually have the party, in the planning stages.
We're talking to Russell, an environment officer locally here in Swale. Our main theme is noise nuisance. Russell, what other steps can a party organiser actually take?
Well, during the planning stages, there are other steps that someone can take. First, consider what time you would feel that it's acceptable to play loud music to, and start looking at certain points in the evening, reducing the noise down so that it minimises impacts as we go later into the evening. Also, the party organiser does have a responsibility for the noise of their guests as they leave the property. So at the end of the night, if you're the host, see your guests out, make sure they leave, apply advisory to them just to leave quietly, and take any glasses and litter off them also as they leave. That's to minimise any broken glasses outside and any other noise or environmental issues.
So, Russell, what can the council actually do if they are called out to a noisy party?
Well, Daniel, whilst the council aren't party poopers, we still have a statutory duty to respond to residents who complain to us about noise nuisance that they're experiencing. Swale Borough Council operate an out-of-hours service every Friday and Saturday night, and residents can access this service by calling 01795 417 612, and I'll repeat that number at the end, but that operates between 9 and 1 every Friday and Saturday evening. So residents that are experiencing noise can call us, and we will, if we're available, we will come out. Officers, when called, would then attend the complainant's property to measure the impact that the noise is having on them, and to assess whether or not the noise was causing a nuisance. That would be the first and most important thing that we would need to do. We wouldn't take any action at all until we determined that it was causing the complainant a nuisance. We would then attend the party and speak with the party organiser or the resident. On most occasions, the party organiser has been quite friendly and cooperative, and there's very rarely a need to look at us using formal action. However, once we have warned someone, if a party organiser or resident has not been cooperative and the noise continues to impact a number of residents, then there are certain steps that we can go down to ensure that the noise is abated. The council can look at issuing a noise abatement notice. However, we would always try to avoid this course of action if possible, and in extreme cases we can seize noise making equipment, but this is a very rare course of action, as residents are normally and generally compliant with us.
And I was next going to ask you that during the summertime, are there any other noise issues that increase?
Well, yes, there are, Daniel. During the summertime, our department sees an increase in complaints about intruder alarms, and the reason for this increase is probably likely to a lot of residents going on holiday, going abroad, and setting the alarm up before they leave. Something's triggering it for some reason, or there is a fault with the alarm, and it then sounds, and unfortunately there is no one around to silence that alarm, so it goes on for a number of hours and causes a great deal of nuisance in the area. When residents are considering fitting the intruder alarm to their premises, they should consider who would be a sensible person to have as a key holder, so somebody that could either attend to the alarm in their absence, or at least be a port of call to go to, so that we can someone that can access the property and silence the alarm. Once this arrangement has been made, they should notify the local authority with those details. When a local authority is called to alarm, we will try our best to contact the owner or key holder, and this neighbour that's got the details will be a fantastic port of call for us to quickly deal with that alarm, rather than us having to resort to formal action. If this doesn't happen and we can't find a key holder, then unfortunately the local authority sometimes have no alternative but to serve a notice, then instruct an engineer to disconnect the alarm, and this is something that we obviously would want to avoid, because it passes on a cost then to the alarm owner. It can also be time consuming and costly, and there's no quick fix solution. So the best thing to do, be mindful when you are putting an intruder alarm on your property to have a key holder, that when you're away, the key holder's got the details, the local authority can find them quickly and deal with that alarm with the minimum amount of impact possible.
And Russell, I just wondered if there was anything else you'd like to cover, and hopefully you could go over those useful contact details as well.
Well, yes, I mentioned the out-of-hours number earlier and the service. I'd just like to go over that again, just to confirm to residents. The Swale Borough Council do operate an out-of-hours noise service every Friday and Saturday night. Residents can access this service by calling 01795 417 575. That's 01705 417 575. I did mention a different number earlier. It is actually the one I've just said there. That service operates between 9 and 1 every Friday and Saturday night, and give us a ring if you're experiencing a noise nuisance, and depending on availability we'll try our best to come out and help you. Okay, the key message is that wherever you are in Swale, enjoy the summer. There are a few better places than Swale to enjoy the summertime. We're in close proximity to the seaside, we've got the beautiful countryside, but please be considerate to others when you're having parties, installing intruder alarms, anything that's going to create a noise impact to your neighbours and the surrounding community. Also, if you're playing loud music, think about when would be a reasonable time to turn it down, and keep doors and windows closed. And yeah, as I say, enjoy the summer.
Well, Russ, I'd like to thank you very much for covering all those areas this evening right here at the Monday Night Community Show.
Thank you, Daniel. Cheers.
That is Russell here at the Monday Night Community Show, an environment officer covering all about noise nuisance, and of course lots of useful information and advice in that interview this evening.